The story of the Chumash Indians is one of great resilience. Hundreds of years ago, Chumash tribes utilized resources from both land and sea along a 200-mile stretch of California coastline. The establishment of Spanish missions in the late 1700s began a tumultuous period where the Chumash population dropped from 22,000 to 2,800. Decades of struggle followed. But the survivors never relented. 7 years after opening its first gaming facility, the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians started construction on a state-of-the-art casino and resort designed to elegantly blend with the surrounding Santa Ynez Valley land their ancestors once occupied. The success of the Chumash Casino Resort has put tribal members on the path to economic self-sufficiency for current and future generations. Today, you'll hear stories from a 9,000-year history, rich with culture, with giving, and with pride. Stories of great achievement, of past and present adversity, of the fight to revive a culture pushed to the brink of extinction. Stories of Chumash life. In this edition of Chumash Life, an agreement between the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians and the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department brings community goodwill. Chumash beliefs and stories are passed down from one generation to the next, keeping the ways of the ancestors alive for generations to come. The tribe's commitment to the community is evident in its partnership with an organization that builds homes and hope. But first, it's been a decade since the first issue of Chumash magazine was published, and it's time to celebrate.
10 years ago, on a cold January night in Paris, France, the concept of a magazine for the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians was born. Former Public Relations Director Frances Snyder picked up a copy of Four Seasons magazine in her hotel room and got inspired. We should have a magazine for our property, she thought. A magazine that would feature all the activities available at the Chumash Casino Resort and that would convey the tribe's message to its readers. 5 months after that trip to Paris, the first issue of Chumash magazine was published in June of 2005.
It was a new venture for us. We'd never been in any type of publishing business before. But at the time, the words of Native Americans really wasn't getting out there in the media, and we thought this would be a great way for us to get our message out there in our own words. Plus, it was a great way to let our guests know at the facilities what was going on and what events were coming up.
Chumash magazine has allowed us to present the tribe's message in a way that is engaging and it's informative, and it helps people understand what's out there in the media that tends to be misconstrued. That's a very powerful tool. This is a way for us to really let people in on the culture of the tribe and just gives them an inside look that they normally wouldn't get.
Equally important, the magazine serves as a great resource for guests of the Chumash Casino Resort.
The readers, especially our guests, love to see the jackpot winners. Not only that, they love to hear about the latest slot machines, shows that are coming up, and also read about our employees, the people that they see and get to know. Our calendar section is a great way for our readers to find out about upcoming events. We also have an entertainment section where it specifically talks about every act, gives a little information about them, where to purchase tickets. We do interviews, Q&As with them, so that's really fun.
While Chumash magazine continues to fulfill its initial goals of conveying the tribe's message and providing information on how to live it up at the Chumash Casino Resort, over the past decade, the magazine has become much more.
Chumash magazine really has evolved into an inside look at Santa Barbara wine country. So when someone opens it up, they not only get to see what's new at the casino, they also get to see the latest stores that have opened up, the latest restaurants in the area, the latest excursions. The Chumash Casino Resort may be one of the premier entertainment destinations on the Central Coast, but there's also a lot else going on. So we highlight that. And it gives people who visit the valley a chance not only to experience the resort, but also what's around here, because it's such a special place.
As the tribe has added properties to its portfolio, Chumash magazine has added pages to include more features. You can find articles on the tribe's other properties, Hotel Cork, the premier boutique hotel in the neighboring town of Solvang, Route 246, an elegant contemporary dining destination, and Hadston House, quality accommodations in Solvang. In addition, the magazine features pages of fashion spreads with the tribe's properties serving as scenic backdrops.
Ultimately, people come to the Chumash Casino Resort and Santa Barbara Wine Country to escape and unwind. That's really what this place is about. And what we hope to happen when they flip through the magazine is that we give them a little taste of that when they're looking through it, they have a little feeling of escape.
All the while, Chumash Magazine continues to serve as a great educational resource for readers interested in learning more about the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians.
When we first started the magazine, we used it to inform our guests at the Chumash Casino Resort. And since there, it's really developed into a communication tool for our tribe.
10 years, 40 issues, thousands of articles, Chumash Magazine celebrates its 10-year anniversary in style.
Here's to another decade of the tribe's popular lifestyle magazine. With an agreement between the tribe and the County Sheriff's Department, community residents can now expect law and order on the res.
The Santa Ynez Chumash Reservation recently gained a boost in law enforcement presence thanks to a 20-year agreement between the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians and the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, which went into effect on January 1st, 2015.
We have an agreement with Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department to provide law enforcement here on the reservation. We pay for a full-time position which consists of 4 deputies around the clock. It also includes the purchase of a new vehicle as well as the operating expense for that vehicle annually.
The agreement, which was years in the making, was something that the tribe had wanted for a long time.
It took a few years to negotiate it first, and then we took it to the County Board of Supervisors, and the first time being rejected for, I believe, personal reasons for some of the supervisors. But we made a few minor changes, took it back to them a second time, and finally, after a couple of years, it was approved.
One of the 4 deputies assigned to the reservation substation is Deputy Bryce Bruning.
Prior to the contract starting, we'd have our contract cities filled, built in Solvang. Then we'd have another car that was for the rest of the Santa Ynez Valley, including the reservation. But there wasn't a deputy assigned to the reservation specifically. With the launch of this contract, we now have a dedicated deputy to the reservation 24 hours a day.
What the program does really is it provides not just law enforcement here on the reservation, but to the Santa Ynez Valley as well. I mean, the town of Santa Ynez is located really right in the middle of the reservation, so the effect of the reservation deputies on the outside community has been tremendous.
When Deputy Bruning and his colleagues, Deputies Alexander Fuller, Van Wagener, and Karowski, were introduced to the tribal members at a general council meeting earlier this year, they were met with enthusiasm.
The response has been great from the tribe, the community, and the Sheriff's Department as well.
We look forward to many years of long and mutually beneficial relationship as we move into the future.
Deputies also had a positive response about working on the reservation. Deputy Bruning, who has been with the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department since 2007 and has received the Superior Performance Award for his efforts in the line of duty, was enthusiastic about being tapped to work on the reservation.
I was excited about it because I've always been interested in doing more of the community outreach type stuff. I mean, it's not just about arresting the bad guy and taking him to jail. Being able to interact with the public in a close way was exciting to me, and whatever we're going to build this program to be, I wanted to be at the ground level and help mold that future.
Law enforcement presence on the Santa Ynez Chumash Reservation will operate similar to other Santa Barbara County Sheriff substations in other communities.
Our responsibilities, just like any patrol station, our general patrol responsibilities, answering 911 calls, taking reports, traffic enforcement, all the general law enforcement duties are all the same. What makes this position a little more unique is that we're trying to do more community outreach involving the tribe and trying to make this a better neighborhood for everyone. I'm starting the Neighborhood Watch program and some other community events where we can all come together and identify the issues that are here, if there are any, and find the best solution to solve them. We're trying to be very visible so everyone sees us. Also, the tribe has done a lot with their own private security patrol and their surveillance cameras. And I think that does a lot to curb some of the issues.
The agreement really represents a great relationship that could be developed between the tribe and the county, and it really shows our willingness to work with local governments.
Now, with a stronger law enforcement presence on the reservation, Reservation and Santa Ynez Valley residents can feel a little safer in their community. The deputies want to remind reservation residents to always call 911 in case of an emergency.
24/7 law and order on the reservation and the Santa Ynez Valley means a safer community for all. Whether the stories are purely for entertainment or are for helping to teach life lessons, the Chumash people ensure that the stories are eternal.
Every culture has stories or legends that have been passed down from one generation to the next, and the Chumash people are no exception. Beloved Santa Ynez Chumash ancestor Maria Solares spent many hours sharing Chumash stories with John Peabody Harrington, an American linguist and ethnologist who took meticulous notes as he studied the native peoples of California. Collections of these stories are available in books, such as December's Child, edited with analysis by Thomas C. Blackburn, and When the Animals Were People by Kay Sanger. Chumash stories are still being told today by parents to their children, elders to their grandchildren. Some stories are entertaining, some are educational, and others pass on ancient Chumash beliefs to ensure that future generations learn the ways of their ancestors. Tribal member J.C. Romero recalls hearing plenty of Chumash stories when she was growing up.
One of the things that as you grow up in Chumash families, you learn about song, dance, you learn about animals, because that's the first thing we start noticing as young children is animals and how it relates to us, their purpose in life. In context to when the animals were people, the first people on this land were the animals.
The stories often provided answers for children to their many questions about life's mysteries, such as how the sun moves, where the stars came from, and why animals have certain traits. The stories also taught children how to behave and how to know right from wrong. According to Chumash belief, the first people who lived on Earth had both human and animal traits, and they had magical powers. Coyote was one of the first people and was a favorite character of the storytellers. Coyote reacted to situations with animal-like cunning, or with a variety of human responses, like wisdom, or sometimes with trickery or foolishness.
A long, long time ago, Coyote didn't eat chickens because chickens weren't around. Coyote ate stink bugs. Well, one day Stinkbug was walking along the road when all of a sudden he can hear pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. And Stinkbug thought, I know who that is. That's Coyote. He wants to eat me. So he stopped and he had to think, he had to be very smart about it.
Sharing stories with tribal children is something J.C. cherishes and feels is an important part of being Chumash.
There were stories that I remember hearing as a child, stories that were important for that time in a young person's life, that could either take you down this dark road or you could take the good route, living a fulfilled and precious life and enjoy every step of it, which we always hope that in our children. I think it really helps children to learn at a very young age about who they are, where they come from. And when you talk about story and you talk about beliefs, they learn to become a part of a bigger community.
Somewhere over here, up on the mountain up there, there's a rock where it looks like Coyote turned into a stone because he had been waiting and waiting and waiting. So don't be tricked about anything that somebody tells you, oh, that's not gonna hurt you. You've gotta just do what you need to do to get your work done.
The stories all share a common thread, learning about life, about yourself, and about the ways of your ancestors. What's critical for the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians is ensuring that these stories are kept alive from one generation to the next.
The tribe's beliefs will live on through their traditions and stories. In a recurring segment featuring the Santa Ynez Chumash Indians Foundation, we take a look at the tribe's partnership with Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat for Humanity is an organization that brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And that's something the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians understands. Founded on the conviction that every man, woman, and child should have a simple, durable place to live in dignity and safety, Habitat for Humanity also believes that decent shelter in decent communities should be a matter of conscience and action for all. Through its foundation, the Santa Ynez Band of Chumash Indians partnered with Habitat for Humanity of Southern Santa Barbara County on the organization's Canon Perdido Homes project, which provided 12 homes for families in need.
The Chumash Foundation was a fantastic partner on this project. They supported us financially, which we were able to leverage with volunteers and with the families. They were a significant sponsor on this project to help us reach our goal of housing 12 families. In addition, this is our greenest project to date, and so the Chumash Environmental Group was really a great partner for us and helped us achieve some of the goals we wanted.
We continue to be impressed by the Habitat for Humanity model. Not only are they providing direct funds through their Restore, but they're also providing financial assistance and counseling so that the future homeowners will be forever homeowners.
One of the families that benefited from Habitat for Humanity's Canon Perdido Homes project was the family of Rima Villarreal. A single mother with 3 young children, Rima was leading a busy life, caring for her kids, working at a tuition-free child care center for homeless and at-risk children, and going to school full-time to obtain her degree in psychology. She was previously living at St. Vincent's in Santa Barbara in the Family Strengthening Program, a communal transitional living program for single mothers of young children. She lived in a cottage with 5 other mothers and 6 other children.
I was only at St. Vincent's for about a month before my caseworker at a group meeting told the group of women that there was an opportunity with Habitat for Humanity to apply to become a homeowner of a home here in Santa Barbara. And it definitely sounded like just the most distant, remote possibility that you could think of, especially being in that state, which is akin to homelessness in a lot of senses. But she went through kind of the basic criteria, and I thought that I definitely wanted to throw my hat in the ring. I applied that first weekend, and I was told that I was selected as a homeowner just a few months later. So it was really a period of less than 6 months of going to this completely transitory, uncertain state into having a wonderful hope on the horizon for permanence and stability.
Rima's story mirrors the many heartwarming, dream-come-true stories of Habitat for Humanity. The organization creates a sense of community among its partner families, who are required to participate in the process early on, from orientation meetings to readiness classes to working on the house.
Each of the adult homeowners had to do 250 sweat equity hours, which was an amazing process. We were literally involved from the beginning of the ground clearing up until doing the finishing touches. I actually got to paint a lot of my own home, which was wonderful, but I think that one of the most valuable parts of that process was interacting with the people who are now members of the community, with my neighbors, and being able to see us as a team, get to know a lot about their work ethic and them as individuals.
Habitat projects are really a community project. It really takes the whole community coming together. So not only the partner families who are putting in their sweat equity and their time and hard work, hundreds of volunteers. We had almost 1,000 individual volunteers.
I don't think that words can express the amount of gratitude that I feel and all of the families on this project feel, but I've definitely thought about the concept of home a lot during these transitions, and I think that it's really a place that's just as present and real in the mind and psyche as the physical abode that surrounds us. And it means so much to be able to provide my children a real home in every sense of the word.
We really get behind what Habitat for Humanity is doing. It's an incredible organization providing incredible programs for a great cause.
The tribe's community partnership with Habitat for Humanity is just one of the many ways the Chumash give back to the community. Through its foundation, the tribe has contributed more than $19 million to date. Thank you for watching this summer 2015 edition of Chumash Life. See past segments at youtube.com/Chumash Life or Cox On Demand, channel 1892 in Santa Barbara County.